And I'm going to show you a lot more things that we can do for farming with emails that makes farming very low cost for the first time in history. So this does work at a high level, and it's never worked more than it has in this ultra low inventory market. If you're a real estate farmer, this is the market for you, because this is where farmers dominate. You know what I mean? You can just dial for dollars right now. You can send out mailers for listings. Everybody's hunting. How do I get listings? Well, it's real easy for farmers right now because you've already saturated certain farms. So it's just like increase the velocity, get more mailers out every single week. What is the content we can put out there? So all the farmers really do well in these high markets. And if they're not, I get those farms set up. So I'm doing this with all my clients, all my big teams, especially anyone that has strong admin support, dedicated marketing people. I've got them working on setting up farms like mad, right? So what we're doing, the first step with everybody is, of course, to set up your farming databases, right? So we've got to get an information service out there. We partner with RedX too as an ICC affiliate. So you can use RedX and get their numbers. We partner with LandVoice. So you can use GeoLeads to get their numbers, or you can use Stephanie and Tyler at Cole Information. All of those have, I would say about 50% of the email addresses typically. Some neighborhoods you'll get 30, some you'll get 60. Email addresses are the key, okay? And you just can't get discouraged if you only get 30% email addresses. If you've got a farm of 1,000 people, that's gonna be 300 email addresses. And that means that's free. Every time you send an email, it costs you nothing, So it's very, very easy to email whatever you're mailing. You can always email whatever you're mailing, okay? And you can do tons of things now with emails, right? For example, we can take emails and we can actually upload them into Facebook and retarget Facebook ads at them, right? But emails are the key there, okay? And I'm gonna show you a lot more things that we can do for farming with emails that makes farming very low cost for the first time in history. Most people consider farming just mailers, and mailers are great, don't get me wrong, they work very, very well, but they're also the most expensive part, which makes farming prohibitive to most people. So most people do a very poor job of farming because they don't want to spend the money. They don't realize there's other ways to make contacts, to add value and come from contribution and provide customer service to the members of your farm, right? So with Cole Information, we get that. Now, of course, if we get the cell phone numbers, we're typically going to get a little bit more, a higher percentage of the cell phone numbers. We can do bulk texts for open houses, straight to voicemail drops for neighbors only open houses. So we can do all of those, all right? So all of those can kind of roll around a farm every single time. And every time we do that, again, we're making more and more touches, and we're diversifying our communication between mailer, between text, between voicemail. We could even circle prospect around a farm as well. Could be retargeting Facebook ads on social media. Could be sending, of course, the emails and things like that, okay? So we are creating a farming plan where we're diversifying our contacts through multiple channels of information, but it starts with the database. So whether we're using Cole Information, whether we're using GeoLeads from LandVoice, or whether we're using RedX leads, we're starting with that database, and we're not going to allow ourselves to get discouraged because we have a low percentage of email addresses. People have been farming for decades upon decades without them. The fact that you've got them makes you a lucky ducky. So don't get upset just because you only have 40, 50, 60% of them. Use them, grow them, hold open houses, get more and more email addresses, work with them as clients, get more and more email addresses, and grow your database. But start with what you've got. Start with what you've got. Okay, so the first thing we're doing right now that I try to do with my farms, every single May and June anyway, let alone in this market, is I try to get out a mailer that is similar to this one. And this is a We Need Listings email or snail mail letter. This goes in an envelope, right? This one is We Need Listings. This is just talking about the general market. We need listings, we're out of them. We got a housing shortage. Have you considered selling your home? We've got tons of buyers that are looking for it. Please let me know, okay? So that's one way to say the message. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you 3 different types of content that all really say the same message so that you can diversify your contacts week in and week out, okay? So the second one that I've got coming up, I'm going to show you here, is the listings needed email, okay? And this one actually says, here's an inventory of what you need. For example, I'm looking for these types of houses. Here's a couple 3 bedrooms, a 2-2. This one we know we need 1,400 square feet. So you've got a hit list. I'm looking for these types in these different neighborhoods or these types of counties, Okay, so we've got that template we can use too, and that's your listings needed. I'll drop all these in the chat for you guys as I'm speaking. Actually, I'll keep doing that. So these are, you can download them as I'm dropping them in. And then you're gonna see your buyer needs a home letter. This is when we're talking about a specific buyer. You know, you actually describe the buyer, tell a little bit about them. They have a couple kids. Here's where they're from. They're looking for your neighborhood. This is the Sutter Ranch community, so we list that by name. This could easily be a mailer that you send out to either neighborhood. It could be a letter inside an envelope. Definitely, if we use this as an email template, we always want to put the neighborhood name in the subject line. The key in farming is to be hyper local. I can't say that enough. Learn what hyper local is. If you get an email, think about the name of the neighborhood you live in. If you get an email that says Sutter Ranch residence with an exclamation point, I don't care who you are, you're opening it, because you know that's not spam. Because no major companies know to market based upon neighborhood or community names. So it looks very, very pertinent to you. So you get a very high open rate. So a lot of people will associate with you and see what you're trying to do in there. Okay. And that's 6 touches I just showed you. There's 3 emails there and 3 letters. You send those out every 2 weeks. That should cover you between May and June every single year. Because I'll tell you right now, realtors have this terrible misconception that everybody knows they should put their house up on the market to get the widest exposure, to get the highest price. People just don't get it's not about money. It's not about money. If it were about money, what it's about is convenience. It's about speed. The reason everybody uses Amazon Prime is not because it's cheap. It's actually more expensive, but it's faster. The reason everybody buys beef jerky at a convenience store, it's not because it's the cheapest place to buy jerky. It's because it's right freaking there. And if you happen to have a buyer right now for their house, people list with you. That has been proven time and time again. Any agent worth their salt has lost a listing to another agent that said, hey, I've got buyers for your property. So this does work at a high level, and it's never worked more than it has in this ultra low inventory market. We've gotten amazing results from our clients by this mailer. That's why I'm starting with it, because it needs to go out first, okay? It absolutely needs to go out first. So we layer that on top, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back through that database, okay? We're gonna go back to that database and we're gonna set them up, everybody in that database up on listing e-alert emails, okay? And that's, so if you don't know what a listing e-alert email is, basically that is like an auto prospecting email. Everybody's CRM should do it by now. Every MLS has this provided. It's when you set up, a buyer typically on a certain home search, right? You enter in certain types of criteria. Anytime a listing comes up that meets their criteria, they get an email, right? We're going to flip that upside down and use that for sellers, except not even sellers. We're going to use it for a neighborhood farm, right? So everybody in that Sutter Ranch neighborhood, let's say, that you have an email address for, is going to get an email anytime another Sutter Ranch home comes up for sale. And they're going to get that from you. So it actually will start to look like they're all your listings. But even if not, they're going to start to see that you're the one that's providing them with the first to know. They'll always be the first to know anytime a home comes up for sale. They're always going to know if the price changes. They're going to know when the home sells. They're going to know what it sells for. They're going to get to look at their price and compare it to their home and see how their home's going up in value. They're going to actually look through photos of their neighbors' homes, which everybody wants to see. Everybody's curious. Compare the amenities of their home to the amenities of the home that just sold, and see how the entire neighborhood's going up in value on a regular. And this little marketing image that we provide that is totally editable, because it's in a Microsoft Word document, that's why I left it up here like this. Every one of our clients can go ahead and edit this document and be able to market this in their neighborhood Facebook groups, when they share this Facebook post with everybody in their farm lists, because we set up farm lists on Facebook, not farm groups, farm lists, right? Which means you can categorize all your friends that live in a certain neighborhood, all your Facebook friends that live in a certain neighborhood, by the type of friends they are. You know that as family members, acquaintances, or custom. If you mark custom, you can set up your own SOI list or your own Sutter Ranch neighborhood list, so that you can do this Facebook post just so that only the people in the Sutter Ranch neighborhood can see it. Do you guys see how much you have to learn about social media? And lists have been around forever. This has been around since the start of Facebook. It's amazing how much agents think they know about social media and really don't know anything or utilize it at all. So please tell them this. This is easy, basic, fundamental stuff, man. And Facebook isn't getting any weaker. I don't care how old you are. Age is no longer an excuse. Facebook is life. There's more reality happening on Facebook than there is in real life. Okay? So let's make sure that we're being able to market the benefits of their listing e-alert programs, that they know how to sell their greatest tool in real estate. And we market that to the farm. So now we're actually sending the we need listings, showing and evidencing the fact we have buyers, and showing how hard we provide customer service to the people in our farms for our buyers. Then we're going to show how we're going to provide customer service to the people in the farms by keeping them and making them first to know. They're going to get emails. They're going to know about a new listing before other agents do. They're going to be the first. They're going to be the first to know they can move up in the neighborhood. They can find their neighbors. They can tell their friends about it, and all the other reasons we just talked about, right? So then what we're going to do is we're going to send an intro mailer and an intro email for our program. And it looks like this. Again, we've had these in the coaching platform forever. It's our email farming template about their neighborhood update. And this is letting them know, hey, be on the lookout. We're going to start sending you a lot of emails coming down the road. And here's how it works. So this is a great letter in the mail. This is a great email with a subject line, Sutter Ranch residents, your neighborhood updates. Okay? So that they can actually see, get ready, you're about to get a lot of emails from me. Okay? I'm going to drop that in the chat just so you guys have, I'll drop both of those in the chat so you have those too. So now we're sending another layer on top of our farming efforts. Okay? Another layer on top of our farming efforts. And that's the key about farming. See how none of this is any work at all to the team leader. This is why we coach full admin support teams, because they have marketing directors and listing managers. And that's who can do all this work. The team leader doesn't have to do any prospecting. This is a machine that runs. I've got teams that farm 10 to 15 to 20 neighborhoods. And right now they're crushing it because GCI is up. Sales are up. This is going to be a record year for sales. Agents will never make more than they do this year. There's never going to be more listings than there is right now. You guys realize that? So if your clients aren't getting it, or you're not getting it, it's because you're not doing the right thing. You haven't shifted. You haven't pivoted. Because right now, farming's huge. Farming's huge. So, and the key to farming is layering and adding value. And all these add value to somebody, okay? Now, the next one is probably the most common, and that's going to be just listed, just sold marketing. Of course, ICC clients and ICC coaches have this huge marketing library in our coaching platform with tons of just listed, just sold, sale pending, open house marketing templates. And they look great because our own in-house designer, Rachel, made them all. And they look beautiful. Okay. So we can use all those things. Here's the thing to teach with just listed, just sold. Okay. Just listed, just sold marketing is not just sending out 2 postcards with every listing. That's stupid. I'd never recommend anyone do that. They need to be part of a much bigger process, a process that includes listing e-alert emails going out to all the residents, a part that involves the we need listings or we need buyers templates I just showed you for mailers and emails, a process that involves Facebook targeting. They're just a piece of the puzzle. And if they're the only piece, this will never work. So what I recommend is a 6-to-2 ratio for just listed, just sold market, 6-to-2. And that means I want 6 emails and 2 mailers for every listing. Okay? Here are the 6 emails. If you're planning on writing, boy, you're going to go fast. Number 1, it's coming soon. I don't care about your MLS rules. Number 2, it's just listed. Number 3, it's open house. Number 4, it's under contract. Number 5, it's sale pending because I want another under contract, and we do sale pending when contingencies get waived. And then number 6, it's just sold. Okay? So again, coming soon, just listed, open house, sale pending, or under contract, sale pending, just sold. Those are your 6 emails. Then we're going to have 2 mailers, just listed, just sold. That's your 6-to-2. Okay? If you do this with 1 listing, everybody in your farm is going to think you just sold 8 or 9 houses by the time you're done. It's going to evidence your success while showing the high level of customer service you provide to your seller clients that are their neighbors in your neighborhood. So it will be well received because it comes with props, respect. They're going to say, man, this guy markets hard. No one markets like this guy. No one brings it like this guy. So everything I'm doing is weaving in customer service so it adds value. This is me showing off my success because I got listings when I do work. They're going to say, no doubt, this guy. I mean, look at all the marketing we get for this. We get the listing e-alerts. I need a buyer letter. I've got the, all this just listed, just sold marketing. No wonder he sells all this. He's the only realtor I've ever met that works. He's the only one that hustles. The rest just stick a sign in the yard. You sure you want to list with your cousin, honey? She just got her license. This guy seems to be the neighborhood expert, right? Because you're just showing them everything you do. Again, this is all totally leveraged to admin support. If you get an administrative assistant, I'll tell you, solo agents have a very hard time keeping up with this. It's one of the reasons we teach leverage in this company, that once you get to a certain point of 20, 30, 40 units per year, we need to start getting leverage and getting full-time administrative help, not a TC that's paid by the file, because a TC that's paid by the file is not going to do this extra work. Make sense? So that's why we always teach this model, a model that works for the top producing teams, a model that's profitable. So that's how when people say you hire an administrative assistant, they should pay for themselves on a 3-to-1 return, because these are all things that earn you money. All of this earns you income. So a good administrative support should bring in tons of business. And this is one of the examples why they should, right? So we do this 6-to-2. Now, if you want this 6-to-2 to work, it needs to go in your administrative assistant's listing to contract and contract to close checklists. You need to have 6 emails in there and those 2 mailers in there. So that way, anytime we take a listing, we can make sure they're checked off and all of these marketing activities are conducted, if that makes sense, okay? Now, lastly, on top of that, there's tons of things we can do in farms. So I'm just going to give you some of the core stuff that all my clients do. Is we want to have block parties, right? A lot of you know my wife farms about 10 neighborhoods, and she's really good at doing block parties all summer long. She has 10 neighborhoods. What she does is she brings out a taco truck and a shaved ice cream truck type thing to each of those 10 neighborhoods over 10 consecutive weeks. And leading up to each Wednesday when she has these, she does a client event contact plan where she's emailing, mailing, Facebook retargeting, texting, straight to voicemail dropping everybody in that neighborhood to get them aware of the event. And since it's over the summer, she just has them on a Wednesday because she doesn't want to work weekends. That's when they have open houses and we have lives. So over the summer, she can do it on a weekday, like at 1:00 in the afternoon because the kids are out. So everybody remembers it and they all bring their kids down and get a free ice cream. And it's kind of an annual thing that's done on behalf of each community. We're adding value. Every contact is to add value to members of the farm, whether it's for your buyers in the farm, on behalf of your sellers marketing in the farm, informing them about listing e-alerts in the farm, or giving them a block party in the farm. You're always adding value coming from contribution. We're diversifying our contacts because we're talking about different things. We either need a buyer, we've either got a seller we're marketing, or I'm updating you on another home, or I'm giving you a freaking taco truck. I'm doing something to add value to every member of the farm, and they're diversified. Then we're also diversifying the communication channels, whether it's voicemail, text, email, mailer, social media, retargeting, phone call, you name it. We can talk about all of these things that way as well too. So it's important we mix up, and this becomes a system that is completely leverageable to your admin staff. And that's true geographic farming. It's not just sending out monthly update marketing mailers. That will get you a very, very low return. Make sense?